Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Rossi.
Here.
Mr. Baya.
Here.
Mr. Dombrowski.
Here.
Mr. Jordan.
Here.
Mr. Cortez.
Here.
Mr. Stevens.
Here.
And Danielle's absent.
All right, so we were supposed to have a meeting earlier in May. We did not have a quorum for that meeting, so we had to cancel that meeting. On April the 30th, 2 months before our year ends, we were supposed to put a budget on our website. That's a ABO requirement. And we do not have a binding budget. So each month we talk about bills and invoices and if we're going to approve something to pay, but we have to do this. So Sandy and I went through, we put down our revenues, which was about 643,500. That's our projected revenues for July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026. Okay? And then our operating expenditure is just information. No one else is coming over here.
Yeah.
No one else, depreciation is just a projection on our buildings and what we take off each year for the value of those buildings. So our main revenue is not really even a revenue, it's pilots. We take in $480,000, we turn around, we send that to the county, the school district, and the city of Amsterdam. So the biggest pilot we have, I think, is 10 Market Street at this time, is that correct?
Yes.
And we collect that money over the life of the pilot. So basically, this budget just needs to be approved by the board. And as I was saying, there is no legally binding thing here. If you come to us next month and you say we need to purchase a new computer, we just can amend the budget. We haven't amended the budget in years. We've just complied with the ABO and put the budget on the website. So if we have a motion for accepting the budget.
I'll make a motion, accept it.
Second.
I did, Sandy, I seconded.
Bill.
Yeah. Bill.
Okay. So then that will, we're gonna call roll.
Any discussion first?
Oh, any discussion? I'm not used to being the runner of the meeting. Any discussion?
All right, then call the roll.
Call the roll.
Okay, Mr. Rossi.
Yes.
Mr. Baya.
Yes.
Mr. Dombrowski.
Yes.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Okay, so at our April 17th meeting, there were 4 members of the board at that meeting. I believe it was Patsy, myself, Bill, and the judge. And we tabled the resolution when Joe's contract got written. It was written for $27,000 a year. It was supposed to be $2,700 a month. So that was tabled and bringing it back up to see if it can go to vote. I mean, I myself would sponsor the resolution to move it forward. I don't know if there's anybody that wants to have discussion before or after. I know, Phil, you had some numbers.
Well, I passed out, Jen, I ought to give this to you, but I just passed out an information sheet because initially what we passed in April was a real disadvantage to Joe, which was unfair. And so then I did a calculation sheet and I came up with, our numbers were like, for this year, Joe would get a 3% increase, and for next year, it would be a 15% increase. And then my question is, should we be giving out 15% increases?
So
I don't,
too.
yeah, that's up for discussion. I don't know anybody in city government who's getting 16 or 15% increase.
So, Chuck, if we were to come to an agreement on the first year at 2,700 and a new number for the second year, do we need a new resolution? Phil,
No.
do you have a number in
No.
mind that you wanna
I
have
don't,
in here too?
I don't, and we can amend this. I think we can just amend the resolution, have Chuck do the numbers. I mean, unless, it's up to the board.
So from 2,700 to 3,100 is 15% increase,
Yeah,
$400?
15.38, yes.
Okay,
right, 15
That's over
point,
the 2,700?
right. So the first year, the increase from 31,200 to 32,400 is a 3.84 increase. And the second year, from 31,200 to 36,000 is a 15.38% increase.
so,
So,
well, this is 32,400 that he's gonna get
Right.
with the new contract. Is that 2,700 a month?
Yeah.
Sandy?
Yeah.
So 32,400, then the increase to 36,000, that's 3,100 times 12? So you would do the increase would be on the year over year. It wouldn't go back to the original year.
No. It would be an increase. Say we voted to increase the salary as set forth, so that in the second year, his base salary would be 32,400.
Yes,
Then the question is, do you want to go to a 15%, almost a 16%, 15% increase? Or does the board want to do something else?
So could we go over the math again, just to make sure to?
Do you have a copy of this? right?
Yeah, so I see it as monthly 2,700 to monthly 3,000.
something like 27 monthly to 3,100, I think it was. To 3,000? 3,000.
3,000.
So 2,700 times 12 equals 32,400. Okay. 3,000 times 12 equals 36,000. So 36,000 minus 32,400 equals, I can't do it that way. 36,000 minus 32,400 equals
8.4.
8.4% increase?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the increase in year two. And you're saying this year, what was the original amount we're paying Joe now? Sandy, 2,400?
Yes.
So it went up 300 a month in the first year, and then we were gonna go up 300 more a month in the second year.
Mhm.
So that, I mean,
About 11% cumulative over 2 years.
over 2 years. So that was basically what I don't know, we didn't really have, at our meeting, we didn't have, a percentage calculator going. We probably just said, okay, $300 this year, $300 next year. So that's just how it came about. If you don't wanna go 300 in the second year and you wanna freeze it at 2,700 and revisit it at the end of this year, that's.
Mike, are you talking 3,000 or 300?
Well, so Joe was making 2,400 a month.
Yeah.
We went up 300 for this year,
Okay.
for 12 months,
Okay.
2,700. In
Okay.
year two of the contract, we went up another 300 to 3,000 a month.
I got you.
So that is how the contract was laid out. It wasn't that we were trying to increase it 8%. There was no thought on that. It was just, we're gonna give you 300 more a month this year, we'll give you 300 more a month next year.
So the rate of increase is less going into year two because
Well, you would
the
base it.
300 is
Yes.
less of the percent.
If you said overall, right, what you would do that you would take, I'm making this $300, that is a percentage. My new base salary going into next year is this, $300 a month increase is this much of a percentage.
Yep, so, which is less
Well, yeah,
in the second year.
Yeah.
The rate of increase.
So it's, and whatever we do, I think we said we're gonna make it retroactive
yes,
to our April meeting.
okay.
So whatever we do, we should make it retroactive to the April meeting. That's up to the board.
Well, I mean, I was okay with the 300 and 300, but again, everybody has to be comfortable with that. And that was me, Jerry, and Danielle. And Danielle's not here, and obviously Jerry has resigned from the board, so.
So the net increase is gonna be 11% over the 2-year period?
Is that what it
Is that
comes
what
out
it
to,
was,
Chuck?
So he's going from 24,000 to 12,000, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So, well, this came out of committee, this recommendation,
It did.
on
But it
the
was-
personnel committee.
Yes,
And then it went to the
it went to the
full
board.
board. So
Right.
you have justification for why you put those numbers in.
But we were just giving him a $300 a month raise.
Committee-based board that relies on our committees to direct the full board.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I will tell you that the committee felt Joe was underpaid. So that was part of the reason for the increases. But yes, and we all had the thing, and it was it was a decimal point issue. It should have been 2,700 per year, not 27,000.
so you want to pay more,
What?
or you want to pay more, he's
No,
underpaid?
no, I don't want to pay more ever. I mean, I'm very conservative, let's say it that way.
Yeah, I just brought this to the attention of the board. Obviously, it's up to the board. I think certainly the first year increase is fine. Second year increase seems a little excessive to me, given that I don't know of any other city employee that's getting a 15% increase. Now, that said, it's not a huge number, but it's still a 15% increase.
That's
In
from
the
year one.
second year. In the second,
From year one.
yeah.
Maybe it's unfortunate I have coffee with Jimmy Marcello, because I hear city increases,
You heard what?
city increases that are more than that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because I'm only aware of one person who got more than that.
A couple.
A couple? Well, the one I was aware of is the city attorney. So, but I certainly, it's up to the deputy mayor, you know more about that budget than I do.
A couple.
Couple, okay. It's up to the board. I just bring these things to the attention of the board. First of all, I'm glad that the committee did its work, held a committee meeting, and came up with a decision and made a recommendation to the board with lots of notice to everybody as to what was going to be done. So I absolutely appreciate that. My question is, does the board want to give Joe in the second year a 15.38% increase? That's my question.
But I don't think that number is accurate.
Okay. Which one do you think is accurate?
I think it's whatever 36,000 minus 32,400 divided by 32,400 is.
It's, yeah, less.
Because I don't think you go
Because
from
the
day
base pay
one.
is higher.
Yeah.
For second time.
Sure.
If you give somebody a raise, you don't then say, well, you've been here 5 years and unemployment or minimum wage has gone up every year. When I hired you, now you're making 12% more. You say it's year over year over year over year.
Well,
So I think overall, I think it's whatever Chuck said, about 11% increase in my mind over 2 years.
Well, I'm hanging my hat on the fact that it came out of committee. We're a committee-driven board. If we were going to object to this, I think it should have been at the time when it came from the committee. So, out of respect to the committee system, I'm going to argue.
And that math was very disadvantageous. And one of the reasons we have it on the agenda is to correct that mistake. I certainly agree with you that the reason for committees is to do the intensive research and make a recommendation, which is what was done. The math was a little wrong, so correct the math. My only question is, how much do you want to give Joe Emanuel, the executive director, in? So if you want to give 11%, fine. If you want to give 5%, fine. So that's up to the board.
Okay, well,
Did you second the motion? I didn't know there was a motion.
well, I made a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
Okay.
So that's.
So do we want to have this, so now do we have discussion on that?
You had discussion.
Do we have more discussion? So do you want to call the roll, Sandy?
Sure. Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Baya?
Yes.
Mr. Domkowski?
Yes.
Mr. Zierzin?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
No.
Mr. Stevens?
I don't even know.
Abstain.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain for this.
Same. We have 4 yeses.
So the resolution passes. Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations, Joe. Now, we have to do a couple other big decisions.
Okay.
So we put down any other business before the board. When we had our reorg meeting on January, I don't know what the date was, some early January, Danielle decided she did not want to be the vice chair. We do not have a vice chair, and as of this moment, we do not have a chairman. So is there anybody that would like to be chairman of this board?
I nominate Mike Rossi.
No, I'm treasurer, I'm not switching. I'm not switching, and I don't know how to run the meeting, because I didn't even know to call for discussion.
You can learn quick, you know the hardest part.
Yeah, okay, so is there somebody that would like to be the chair person?
Dan?
I mean,
You were the chair before.
I relinquished to Joe. Do you want to be the chair?
I wouldn't mind being in any of these roles. My travel schedule and sometimes, kids' activities like get in the way of like regular the meetings.
Well, there's more to being the chair than meetings. You have to sometimes go meet with Chuck, you have to sign documents, you have to be somewhat available.
To Chuck specifically.
Well, there's a lot of,
I'm always free.
no, but there's documents that need to be
Oh,
signed,
yeah,
loan
yeah,
documents,
Yeah,
pilots and things of that nature.
yeah, we can arrange those.
Yeah, those things are easier if they're ad hoc type things. It's more of like trying to be, basically owe the commitment that I think the board deserves to, to say, hey, it's a regular Thursday or third Thursday meeting, everyone's available. I happen to be out of town that week. That kind of throws things, we don't meet for another month. That's my biggest concern.
Well, in that situation, after we find a chair, someone will have to be vice chair. And that person in your absence could run the meeting if you wanted to be chair.
I nominate Pat.
For vice chair?
Because you've run meetings before.
I'd rather be a board member, I have more power.
Oh.
Bill?
No, thank you.
I
This is my
always-
third board I'm on, so.
I always thought in any organization, the person with the most power is the treasurer,
Really?
He is.
because the treasurer's got the money.
Okay. That's Sandy then.
Sandy's got-
All right, so we need a chair.
All right.
Would you like to be chair?
Yeah, I'd like it if, based on what you said, and if other board members, if there's strong interest from someone else, I'd gladly have that discussion to allow them to be it.
And you can also appear via
Telephone.
no more telephones. Has to be FaceTime or Zoom or something like that.
Yeah.
So we could always arrange that.
Great, that's a lot easier, in fact.
Okay, so do we need a vote for that?
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
get a
Somebody has
vice
to
chair.
nominate him, or are we gonna not vice chair first? So Judge, you wanna be the vice chair?
Not particularly, but I'll do it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Because,
Don't change your mind.
well, no, my approach is, you shouldn't be using the older guys, you gotta be using the younger guys to do this. But we can't put that on Jim, he's just started.
Well, it's only his first meeting.
Yeah. So,
You're chairman.
You go, have at it.
but, Dan will be here most of the time. If he's not, I can do some pinch hitting. I've been chairman of committees.
And this is only until January, and then in January we'll elect new officers.
Good.
If anything, I like the balance of, you having more experience, helping me, so
Sure.
that's helpful.
All right,
You can vote for him as a slate. The two of them.
okay. So do we have a resolution put up for the chair and vice chair?
Secretary full
Oh, then
board.
who's gonna be secretary? You're,
Well,
Danielle is.
Danielle's the secretary, right?
no,
I'm
Bill,
the
not Dan.
I'm the secretary.
Oh.
No, now you don't have a
Oh.
secretary. Now you don't have a secretary. Now I have to take minutes.
Bill?
I took vice, so.
Bill, you are pretty good at AI, so that's helpful.
This is
Yeah.
just till January.
Can I tell you guys what he does for the Waterford Foundation?
Look. Chris, don't anybody stray here, yeah. You talking just till January?
Well, it's till January unless you get reappointed.
Uh,
It is definitely to January. We have a house holding meeting in January and we decide officers.
okay, does that mean I have to take notes as well on everything, or do we just use our video system here?
But I guess it's up to,
Well, the secretary prepares the notes for Sandy to make the minutes, right? Sandy, is that how it works?
The
Yeah.
secretary takes minutes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can take minutes during the meeting, but
Yeah.
you also have a backup of the video.
That's been
I'm
helpful.
gonna
Bill,
pass,
Bill,
seriously,
there's
it's,
an app on your phone
Yeah.
that will dictate the conversations that everybody has at the table and it'll, you can
That's-
print it.
yeah,
That's what I use. It really helps. It
Yeah.
doesn't do it verbatim, but
And
what matters the most.
It's accurate.
Yeah, right. What matters the most, right, Sandy, is the roll call,
Right.
who
Your
made the
sponsors
yeah,
and your
who sponsors,
seconds.
your
Yeah.
seconds, that's the big.
Yeah,
That's,
the votes.
basic.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
And then you copy and paste from last month's, onto the template.
yeah.
Got a lot of help there, Bill.
Yeah, seriously, like I said, this is the third board that I'm on. I just don't feel I'd be able to do a good job and do it competently. So I'm gonna pass. I have to.
okay, who's not, Danielle's not here? I nominate Danielle.
I second it.
Okay.
Kill me.
Second will be chicken.
So do we have a slate?
So right,
So it'd be,
the proposed slate right now is, Dan as chair, Phil as vice chair, and Danielle as secretary.
Is it against our guidelines to have two positions?
I did anything in
Yeah.
the bylaws that indicate that you can't have two positions?
Typically, you can be president and secretary in a regular corporation. There's some limits with treasurer and things of that. nature.
Yeah.
You can have two. If you apply those rules, yeah, I agree with Phil, there's nothing that says you can't.
I feel bad handing that to Danielle.
Well,
when
I
they're
have a
not here.
question, and she's not here.
Right,
To
right,
either
so-
accept or
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
That's what I'm.
So I don't mind doing this too, and seeing I have a good system of doing it.
So you want to also be
I
secretary?
can be, just.
I nominate Dan as secretary.
Okay.
It's administrative.
as long as that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So we have a slate.
can I call it a vote or whatever?
Do we have a motion on this? Chuck? of,
Yeah, motion to,
Accept the slate.
Yes,
Accept
Dan,
the-
president and secretary, me as vice chair.
I'm also a 10U softball coach.
Oh,
So.
Good job.
we'll make that a footnote.
Yeah, right.
So that's I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. So Sandy, we just call the roll and, any discussion or any further discussion? Okay.
Okay, Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Bam?
Yes.
Mr. Domkowski?
Yeah.
Mr. DeZiero?
Yes.
Bill. Oh, sorry, yes, yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
And Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Can we do a couple things quickly, treasurer's report and stuff, since we missed May? We have the treasurer's report in your packet, it's available cash 7467, it's up. Our restricted JFA 86744.61, that's what we can give out for loans. And our general available cash as of May was 1,033,330.66. So that is our money that we can do other things with, except for give loans, right, Chuck? So,
But you're gonna investigate that, right?
well, we're gonna have Chuck look into the fact if we can start a new loan fund, or we can add to the existing loan fund. I guess back in 2011, some paperwork was done by Jody when he was the chairperson, director, and they were trying to find out where the monies came from. We've never done any reporting on our loan fund, so right now we have 86,000. And we've used this from time to time. We gave Mr. Perillo a loan, we gave Billy McCord a loan over at Shorty's, some other loans, so it's been an effective thing for us to have a little loan pool. We usually loan below market rate, and we're usually a loaner of last resort, so somebody has to be denied from a bank, and then they come to us to get a loan. So overall, I mean, treasurer's report, we're in good shape. We have over $1 million in just general available cash. So that's treasurer's report.
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
Then bills and invoice resolution, the only thing we really have is we have pilots, $100 for Marco, insurance policies that we're paying, newspaper subscription, and business cards for Joe, and some paychecks, payroll. So really, it's a light month of expenditures, but I will make a resolution to pass the bills and invoice resolution dated June 4, 2025.
You said that one of the expenses there was insurance?
Yes, it's selective insurance for $8,414.13.
Can I ask you a question about the insurance? A discussion came up in public, and there seemed to be some confusion on who's insuring the walkway on the south side. Who owns that walkway? And who's the boardwalk? And who's
I would think the city has to name us insured on that. That's what I would think, because
I
we
don't
gave
think
them right away.
I don't think they're clear on that.
Oh,
So there's a question on who's owns it, and then who's gonna insure that.
well, Chuck, we gave them a right of way. We still own the Chalmers property underneath the boardwalk, correct?
I believe so, yeah. We just give them easement, if I'm not mistaken.
So I would think that they,
I was under the impression that the insurance rider, that the city's insurance rider will cover the insurance portion of that.
It will?
I'll check.
That's what I wasn't, that's what I
If
understand.
you're gonna have a splash pad and
Because it's the
everything.
same insurance plan that covers Riverlink Park.
Okay, so you'll check that, Joe?
Yes, I will.
I need a second for the bills and invoice. Michael
I'll
starts.
second it.
You, okay.
okay, did everybody read the board minutes from the last meeting? Is there any changes or anything anybody'd like to make to those? Okay, then I would make a resolution to accept the board minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second that. You gotta vote on the first one.
Oh. Okay, Sandy, you wanna call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Bam?
Yes.
Mr. Domkowski?
Yes.
Mr. DeZiero?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Okay, so now we need a roll call on the minutes.
We're doing it tonight. Okay, ready? Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Bam?
Yes.
Mr. Pankowski,
Yes.
Mr. Zirzen.
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
And Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
So our next meeting is scheduled for June the 19th. I didn't realize that the city did not honor that holiday. And I am not going to be here. So I'm just making you aware of that. I don't know if the new president wants to take over the meeting and see if you guys want to have a meeting or not. I will not be here on June 19th. I'm taking my nephews to the Yankee game. I thought we wouldn't be having a meeting because it was a federal holiday.
What's it? Yeah, Thursday.
It's Thursday, it's Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I think we should not meet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, why don't we just move it to July?
Okay.
So that would be just a motion to move the June meeting to the July meeting.
And we can have,
No, we don't need a motion.
No,
Those-
No,
no, we don't
okay.
need
Because
that.
those are already set.
and we can have a special meeting.
What day would that be, Phil?
July 24th, is that July 24th?
Thursday,
The
Thursday.
last,
There's been a couple summers when we haven't had it.
17th.
the
Third
17th?
Thursday, yes.
Third Thursday, it's the 17th, okay.
Yeah.
And 5 o'clock?
If, is that what you guys want?
Yeah, right, that works.
Okay.
That works.
Joe, did you want to give any director's report or anything?
Not at this time.
Dan, do you want to make a motion to adjourn? You're the.
Can I ask one?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
About the Chalmers site,
Yes.
is there any plans for bathrooms there? Or bathroom that, does the city have a bathroom in back of, open to the public in back of the old,
The
Just hot dog
adjacent, the
place.
adjacent
Yeah,
bathroom
if it is,
is
how
off
often
of
is that
the
open?
south side parking lot across from the information center. It seems like it's far away, but it's closer, and it is an open facility, it's a new facility, it's what, 2-3 years old?
so that, and it's
The
open?
only issue with that bathroom is that it's not always conveniently opened.
So
But
8 to 8
part
or
of our,
something?
well, part of our Parks and Trail action agenda is that bathroom has to be open a certain amount of hours through the day to cater to a lot of the people, the 40,000 people that use the bike path for the summer months.
Is there any date on when that'll be completed?
I'll look into that.
Yes, it would be convenient to have a bathroom
And
closer.
also, is there going to be a bathroom at the boardwalk?
I think that's what sparked
That's
the
what I
conversation.
was mentioning, because it-
I can check into
Not
that.
that I know of, because we have that newer facility close by. But it's definitely something we could come over and bring up.
I just attended a meeting of the boardwalk construction team. And I wish I knew I could ask that question. But I will email them. I'm on their email thread. And if there's not, I'll make sure that the city gives us
200
a
feet from the
schedule.
boardwalk, would you say?
Being that
Because it's just across this, it's just across Erie to behind Fuji's, pretty much.
That's Gilliland, yeah. But, being there's a splash pad and people on the boardwalk, maybe there's one underneath.
It's a awfully big structure. So,
So,
I'll check. I'll check and email everyone the report on that.
thank you.
Yep.
Joe, can you just check one thing for me too?
Yep.
So when we originally talked with the architect for the boardwalk, it was my understanding that the level of the boardwalk would be like a first floor and we can connect right to the boardwalk. So in their construction, are they constructing it so we can build onto the boardwalk? That'd be my question. Because we talked about putting a structure right up to the boardwalk when we talked about the brew pub and everything. And like I see that ramp coming down, that couldn't be there. And like at the end of the
the
boardwalk,
boardwalk actually looks nothing like that
good.
rendering.
Well, at the top, does it look like that with the, where it's going out?
No. I
The
actually have a
small,
picture. I'll
the
show you.
small picture, not the smallest picture, the second smallest picture. the one above the Perel, hand sanitizer. That one is pretty much close to what it's gonna look like.
Okay,
You could see the big structure. They were just talking about what color they were gonna use on the deck, et cetera, et cetera. And there's access, and I also asked them about access is predominantly going to be from the pedestrian bridge, not from our property. Unless we have a developer who wants to allow that access. So once that's built, people will access that area from the bridge, the end of the bridge.
Joe, did you hear anything about a bodega going where Gooch's Hot Dogs was?
that was supposed to
I-
be Curry South Diner.
Yes, there was a micro enterprise grant awarded to a woman who is going to do a
Grocery store?
grocery store, convenient type store.
So that'd be,
Yeah.
that'll have some issue with parking and especially when you have the boardwalk put up, people are gonna be wanting to
Yeah.
park it, so you have to keep that in mind going forward with the land, the AIDA land there.
It's the city's issue.
Well, the AIDA land, the land that AIDA owns, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right, that will market,
People park
that we're marketing that land now.
That doesn't have splash pad on it. That, this does.
Oh, yeah,
That's the,
that's the splash pad.
that's from the blueprints. So that's exactly what it looks like. It's just that it's, to look at it from the road, it's very imposing.
Well, yeah, somebody asked me what kind of building they were building down there, and I said, oh,
Chris,
that's not
can
a
you email that to me and I'll share it with the board?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my only question, Joe, would be, what would we have to do if a developer came in?
We would just have to sell the property and let the developer work with the city in designing and using architectural, whatever they need to do to join in with that. But there's no place for us, like right now, to access from AIDA property in, onto the boardwalk. Because we own the property, you know, in front of it. And I suggested at a prior meeting that maybe we should fence in our property so that we don't have a lot of traffic going in and out from our property into the boardwalk where it should be coming from the pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, we're not, we shouldn't be a park for the boardwalk
Well, we could,
unless we have
whatever,
an
whatever
insurance
the board
policy
wants,
covering that.
yeah, and we could do a
Have something-
gazebo. I mean, we talked about putting a,
No, I'm saying, yeah, unless we have a insurance thing that,
What about food trucks there in that surrounding area? What's that?
That was Tom Joe
Oh.
on his phone.
okay, thank you.
Sometimes you see that when you go to Florida, they have these little town.
oh, it's great, isn't it, with all those food trucks?
Oh, yeah.
Paul Perillo said that to me once. He said, boy, that'd be nice there if they, a nice summer with a splash pad, you had food trucks,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could go there after going away. Mohawk game,
Well, I
or
think,
maybe you eat enough of the Mohawk game.
I think, that-
Go to a
And
concert.
but we own the
That's right.
property, so we would have to find a little bit of a lot of, you know.
well, that's what I'm saying, so if Chuck could check into that, then.
Let me check into that.
The liability we're gonna have if people are coming off the boardwalk into the property and using it as like a park.
I can tell you the answer, yes, you have liability.
Well, yeah, but we need some kind of insurance, that's what I'm saying. We need-
What happens when they like have events where they like host a bonfire?
We don't let.
That's
That
over.
hasn't happened. Yeah, that's what?
Bonfire is not, we rejected, the city rejected the bonfires, it's
It's just a bridge.
too dangerous.
Okay.
But when there was that extra insurance,
Yes.
They
when
gave us,
we did have it.
yeah, they gave us an insurance binder to cover that night,
One
just that
use.
one use, yes.
You have all these questions?
Okay.
Here,
All right.
Adjourn?
Motion.
Sounds good.
Second, okay.
Hang on,
Uh,
motion,
Dan
And
made a
Bill.
motion, I seconded it.
Dan and Phil?
Yeah.
Roll call.
Mr. Rossi,
Yes.
Mr. Bolt,
Yes.
Mr. Pankowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Zierzin,
Yes.
Mr. Cortez.
Yes.
And Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, the next meeting of all the developers, contractors, plumbers, electricians is, I believe it is.
Yeah.
6/18/25 at 2 p.m.
Where do they meet?
They meet right in the annex across the street from the city hall.
And that's all the boardwalk people?
That's all the people constructing the boardwalk, including Saratoga Associates.
6:18?
6/18,
We're adjourned.
yes.
Joe, you want to mention the zoning board meeting tomorrow, in case anyone want to come?
Right, if any